Alright, hi everyone, and welcome to TWF Collision or Hit. I, Tony Schiavone, with Joey Styles, and with Montel Vertadius Porter. And today on Collision or Hit, we have a good show here today. Well, yesterday we did see, yesterday we saw Asuka and Taylor have their match for the TWF heavyweight winnings, and Asuka beat Taylor and kept the TWF heavyweight winnings, Tony Schiavone says. And it was Taylor who yielded her Galvin a boundary, and that's right, Joey Styles said. Asuka, that's right, Taylor did yield her Galvin boundary winnings, and you know, she did yield that in, and by doing so, she ended up getting the. By doing so, she had the right to fight Asuka, but she lost, and who knows when she'll ever get another time, you know, to fight her again. I'll tell you one thing right now, Tony and Joey. I thought Taylor should have yielded for another time in another stead, because now she don't know when she's ever going to be fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. However, we do know that Arrow, is going to, who now has the right to fight Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings, and he has a time and he has a date, so when he's going to do it. But I do think Taylor should have yielded. Shit. I do think that Taylor should have yielded for another time in another stead. So in other words, you think it was wrong of Taylor to do that. Yeah. I do believe. So you think it was wrong of Taylor to yield in yesterday on Friday Night SmackDown for her match, with Asuka. That's what you think, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, that's what I think, Montel Vertadius Porter says. Well, I can tell you right now, Joey Styles said, we have Arrow, we're going to have Asuka, and then they're going to have their waffle deal for their TWF. So we're going to be fighting for the TWF heavyweight winnings. Stand up. Again. Oh. Yeah. Now we'll get the main overseer of the Toy Wrestling Gathering, Ric Flair, here. Alright. Today we're going to oversee the waffle deal signing between Asuka and Arrow for the TWF heavyweight winnings. And at the end of the day, this is going to be a good one. Well, first off, I'm going to say right now that I do have onlook for you, Asuka. And I'm going to tell you that right now. But at the same time, I know what you can do. But you also know what I can do. And yes, I've only been in the Toy Wrestling Gathering since last year, or a year before that. But I know that it might be my only shot. But I'm going to make it all worth my shot. Well, so Arrow, one of those well-known over-good doers from the DC world. And someone didn't think highly of you, because if they did, they wouldn't have gave you away to the Glassport Thrift Middle. But anyway, I know what you can bring, and I know you're going to bring a fight. But at the end of the day, I know that you will not be ready for Asuka, and you will lose just like Taylor did. Well, you don't know what's going to happen, Asuka. The truth is, you don't know what's going to happen. The truth is, I could win, you know, and that could happen. Yeah, I could lose, but then you could lose too. But I know at the end of the day, I'm ready for this. Well, alright, Arrow, Asuka. Arrow is now the next in row to fight you for the TWF heavyweight winnings, which will happen sometime this month. We just don't know when. But it will happen, you know, sometime this month. And I hope that you can both be skilled enough to not get into a fight. We don't have a board because we didn't have time to dig out and put a board here. And if we did, sadly, we do know that someone would have wanted to beat up and throw someone through it. And I hope you two aren't going to, that isn't going to be you two. Well, we're going to see now, Tony Schiavone says, how long Asuka and Arrow can keep this up before one strikes the other. Yeah, Joey Styles said, because any lawful signings always seem to end, any lawful sheet dealings always seem to end in madness. I can tell you what, Montel Rictadius Porter says, it's all up to whoever's going to fling the first shot. And up. And up. Okay, now you're fine. I can't stand up very well. Alright. I just want to yield to see if Arrow's going to give the first fling or Asuka's going to do it. This is where I would either... Shit. Something's going to fall over now. And up. And up. Gotta go lean the ropes because he can't stand up, and neither can she. It's kind of sad. Well, it can't stand up anywhere except against the ropes. That's bullshit. Oh. I'm gonna tell you right now, Arrow, you're lucky that I don't do anything to you. That I have enough onlook for you not to do anything to you. And you should know, Asuka, that I have a lot of onlook for you not to do anything back to you. But when it comes to the match, all bets are off. All bids are off then. That's what I'd say, same thing to you. But Arrow, I'm going to tell you what now. You are not ready for Asuka. Well, that seemed to go down, that seemed to go down well. Tony Schiavone says. We truly thought that Asuka and Arrow, were going to start something. And that they were going to come to blows or something. But luckily, Tony Schiavone said that did not happen. No, it did not happen, Joey Styles said. But it could have. But it could have happened. but it could have happened any old time. And luckily, it did not happen, Joey Styles says. Yeah. You wonder why Arrows holds back? Because he knows that if he struck Asuka, she'd take him down. So he's doing it because he's afraid. He's worried that he can't beat Asuka. Montel Ricadius Porter says, "Oh, is that right?" Joey Styles says, "Well, need be, he might been holding back due to the onlook he had for Asuka, like he said. I could tell you right now, he was most likely holding back because he had onlook for Asuka, and most likely Asuka had onlook for Arrow, and that's why she held back," Tony Schiavone says. Well, anyway, we're going to take it to Gene Okerlund now. Stand up. We're going to be talking with Arrow. Stand up. What is it with doll makers? They don't know how to make dolls stand up. Yeah. Can't hold things, they can't stand up. Alright. Thank you, Tony Schiavone and Joey Styles. Alright, Arrow. We know that you're going to be fighting Asuka for the TWF heavyweight winnings. And you could have gone to blows for any time. And you chose to hold back. Well, first off, Gene Okerlund, I chose to hold back because, as I said, it was out of onlook to Asuka. And Asuka had onlook for me too. Now, some folks might scathe and say that it was fear. That one side was fearing the other side. Well, it had nothing to do with fear or worry. I have a lot of onlook for Asuka and what she can do in the wrestling ring. And I most likely believe Asuka's got onlook for me because she said much. Now, what would it meant if we came to blows before our match? That would have not helped anything. That would have not gave me an upper hand, and it would not help me win. So, are you worried about the miss that Asuka has, that she's been known to do? I mean, you just asked what happened to Braun Strowman and King Caesar and Taylor. It's that miss that Asuka seems to have that helped her beat those folks she was in the ring with. Yes, I've seen what she's done to King Caesar, to Braun Strowman, to Taylor Arrogant. I saw it. And I'm quite aware of the mist and how to keep away from it. But I know that I got a game goal. And I know when it's right that I will beat her, and you'll be looking at the new TWF heavyweight fighter, who just happened to be a DC South. You know, made by McFarlane Toys. Well, good luck with that, Arrow, and becoming the TWF heavyweight fighter. Oh, thank you, Gene Okerlund. Well, that's my talk with Arrow. Back to you, Tony Schiavone and Joey Styles. Well, thank you, Gene Okerlund, for talking with Arrow here today on Collision or Hit. Shit. What the fuck? Okay, now this is blue. Now if I just voice blue. Well, thank you for talking with Arrow here today on Collision or Hit. And that's all the time we got here for Collision or Hit. You know, I, Tony Schiavone, with Joey Styles and Montel Ricadius Porter, we hope you like Impact or Hit. And we'll see you tomorrow for Power or Mike.